Hello once again everyone, Original Blood Ace here for one more video for tonight. And we're gonna do a review of the movie Pixels because me and a buddy went and saw it. I guess by the time this actually gets uploaded it'll have been yesterday. But we went and saw the movie. I know what people have said. I knew people were like, oh, it was a flop, it was horrible, it was bad, blah 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 blah. Newsflash, I do not give a fuck about people's reviews. Especially people who get paid to review things. Whether it's video games, whether it's movies, whatever. I like to make up my own damn mind. If something catches my eye, then I want to check it out. That's just how I always have been, and I always will be. So yes, I saw Pixels, and right off the bat, I'm going to say, was it as bad as everyone says? To me, no. Not even remotely close. Now, I'm not going to say that it was, oh, movie of the year, best movie of the year, because it wasn't. And I mean this with no disrespect, it's a solid B movie. It's not, AAA blockbuster. No, it's a solid B movie. But there's nothing wrong with liking a B movie. There's nothing wrong with B movies. If all you have is, quote, AAA, then do you really only have AAA? Because if they're all classified under the same thing, how can you actually have a difference in scale of how good a movie is? But anyway, the movie itself, I'm not going to spoil any major things. At least I hope I don't. Although a lot of people probably are going to not care if I spoil it because they're going to be like, oh, I wasn't going to see it anyway. I'm going to try and keep this review somewhat short, though. So, where do I begin? The things I liked, I guess we'll start with. First of all, the main thing is, the special effects. Absolutely amazing special effects. I really thought that they did it very well, and there was really no parts where I was like, oh, that's stupid or anything. So I can't blame, or not blame, I can't bash them on that. The action scenes, pretty good, pretty impressive. I was perfectly pleased with those. And what else was I really, pleased with or whatever? Adam Sandler. He's an actor who can be really good or, not so good. And personally for me, I thought he did a good job in this movie. I thought he was, his acting skills were good, and he pulled off the character fine, to be brutally honest. As for the cons, there's going to be a minor, well, kind of a big spoiler, but it's not, how do I explain it? It's a spoiler, but at the same time, I'm spoiling nothing. And when I say it, you'll understand what I mean by that. So, the story of the show, the movie, I should say, is, people in the past, 30 years ago, they sent up video game type stuff into space for aliens to find, and then the aliens find it, and then they have, basically start a war with the humans over it. But my major fail about the movie is simple. By the end of the movie, and here's the spoiler that's not so much spoiling anything because it's a lack of a spoil, but these aliens, after it's all said and done, they're never shown. There are no actual aliens shown in the movie. It's, they beat the last video game and, they saved the world and it's over. So it's like, well, what about the actual aliens, So that was kind of a weird thing, and even like another thing that was kind of strange was the guy who was Paul Blart Mall Cop is the president in this movie, and they even mention Obama with one of the guys who gets rescued, a military guy. He's like, "You're my favorite or second favorite president because Barack Obama will always be my man," or whatever. And I was thinking, I was like, this doesn't take place that much in the future, so why wouldn't they just use Obama in this as the president? Like, why would they put a random fictitious president in charge? But whatever. The guy who, I forgot his name in the show or in the movie, it was Edward or something. The little guy from Game of Thrones. I don't like little, or I was gonna say I don't like Little Thrones. I don't like Game of Thrones, and I don't really particularly care for this guy. He wasn't overused in the movie, which was a nice thing to see. I was kind of a little worried that he was going to get too much face time, but he didn't, so that was okay. But I think Adam Sandler, he did a good job as an actor, or acting in this movie. But other than that, I really don't know what else to compare, or not compare, but to discuss about the movie. There was, without majorly spoiling it, it's there was, oops, the stupid screen went black. There's a few rounds. Each video game is a round, and basically the aliens are like, speaking through edited TV messages, basically. And they're like, "Oh, you have 3 lives, and if we beat you in 3 games, you lose your planet. If you beat us in 3 games, we lose our planet." Which, even though the humans win in the end, it had nothing to do with their planet. Like this alien planet, supposedly, wasn't even shown, wasn't talked about, wasn't done anything. But so either way, one round was Galaga, one round was a Centipede game, one round was Pac-Man. The Pac-Man scene was really good and really well done, and they even had, at least I think he's the actual guy who created Pac-Man in it. And other than that, then the last round, which this is kind of a spoiler, but the final boss of the game, if you want to say that, the final game that they had to fight was old school Donkey Kong. And sure, the fight was a little on the short side, if you want to call it a fight. The competition, the battle, I don't know what you want to call it, but either way, it could have been a little bit longer, maybe just 2 minutes longer would have been a little bit better, but it was fine for what it was. But yeah, overall, it's not, in my opinion, the movie is just, it's not as bad as everyone made it out to be. And I wasn't going into the movie, being like, oh, I know it's going to be the best movie ever, because that's hardly ever my mindset. The only times I'll be like that is when I'm really excited for a movie, is like, say, the new Pirates movie, when that comes out, because it has, Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow, and I'll be like, oh, it's going to be fucking awesome, because Jack Sparrow is amazing. But, with this movie, I was like, I expect it to be, a good movie where there's some funny moments and whatnot, and that's exactly what I fucking got. So, not much else to say, but give it my final wrap-up review, and simply put, it's a watchable movie. It's not shit, and it's not, amazing. It's good. It's an average good movie, in my opinion. So, would I buy it on DVD? Probably not. Maybe, if I saw it in a bin where it was like, $10 or something, maybe I would, but it's like, oh, it's on DVD now, I'm gonna buy it right away. No, that's not gonna be me for this movie. But as a score for the game, not the game, the movie, I should say, the movie about a game, or games, uh, I would give it a solid, a 6 out of 10, I feel, is a fair score. A little bit above an average score, but not by much. And, another thing I forgot to mention, though, was there was noticeably some, I mean, it is a Sony Pictures movie, which is the funny thing, but there was so much, okay, maybe not so much, but there was a fair amount of PlayStation leniency in the movie, where Adam Sandler's character is setting up entertainment system for this kid or whatever, and he's talking about he has a PS4 and everything, and at one point you see them playing The Last of Us in the game, or in the movie, and all this stuff, and one guy and the kid mentions Halo and Call of Duty, and so there's a throw over to Xbox and whatnot. So a little advertisement in there, I suppose, but not as much as the PlayStation brand. And another little tidbit is, at one point in the movie you do see Mario, but he's like 8-bit style, just kind of going hop, 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 hop across the screen, and he's on there for like a second and a half. You almost missed him if you blink. But that was technically back when he was Jumpman, not Mario. So, but yeah, 6 out of 10 is what I give Pixels. So if you were, if you gave a shit about, or if you give a shit about my opinion on the movie, if you want to see it or not, I say it's a good movie. It's not amazing, it's not great, but it's not a bad movie. You might get a chuckle out of it from here, and, every once in a while, you might think it's, a tolerable, watchable movie. So, that'll do it for this video. I'm Original Blood Ice. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.